Once again, drivers getting set to go. Nikita Johnson and Liam Skeets on the front row. Johnson already with 3 wins on the season, just 15 years of age. The kid's a phenom for VRD Racing. Let's see if he keeps it rolling now. If the Kiwi from the outside finished second this year in the Formula Regional Oceania Championship down in New Zealand, can he come away with his first win? Will it be here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Field looks very good, 21 strong. And a nice slow start. We'll look up to the flag stand for Aaron Likens to give us the green, and we have it, folks. Green, 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 underway. Eves is gonna go to the outside. Really good start here for Liam Skeets. But you know, coming to the bottom, look at this. Braden Eves going to the outside to make it 3 wide, and here comes Hunter Yaney thinking 4 wide into turn number 1. Here they come down, little brake lockup. Eves have to take the cutoff. Braden Eves forced off to the cutoff here right now. Skeets gets the lead. Liam Skeets goes to P1. He'll slot in. Eves comes through, back out. He loses at least 7 or 8 positions. So trying 3 wide on the outside. Alan, you've watched lots of races here before. 3 wide, if you're on the outside, not the best place to be.
What I'm amazed is no contact. They all got through it. Inside car locking up and sliding long, and a great move by Eves to see that 2 cars over.
I was going to say, had he held that spot, because Liam, obviously, Skeets was trying to give some room. He sees the brake lock up. He's trying to move over. Eves had to get around. We'll see where he ends up coming through that cutoff and getting back out of the racetrack, taking the escape route. But nonetheless, Liam Skeets, the Kiwi, goes to P1 for the first time here in the 2024 season. Another driver really scraping it together race by race. He's got so much great support from the good folks, of course, back in New Zealand. We had him on the pre-show, and he talked about the people that are making this work for him. And there's a lot of hard racing further back. You can see these drivers locking up in a big way as they come through turn number 11, 12, and 13. We'll give you a full field rundown when they come back through, because otherwise I think we're going to get everybody back around. The first driver's doing a great job. And watch for Nikita Johnson here, folks, on the gearbox. Skeets is going to go down to the wall. And I'll tell you, you know that Johnson's going to keep him pinned down to the bottom to really narrow that turn-in radius. And he dives out quickly here, comes across the bow, little lockup, book it. He is through. Nikita Johnson goes to the lead, and Alan, that was textbook.
Perfect stuff. Well done. A big run. He looked like he wanted to make a lunge back in turn 12, the short shoot of the oval, and they said, no, that's not the spot. Patience, your key there, it applied.
That's right, my second keys of the race, be patient. Let's go back to Ayrton Hauk here right now. You've had one start already. Now you get to watch one from up here on the screen. What did you think about that one?
Yeah, no, quite the start. It was great to see all these cars get there cleanly through turn 1. Unfortunate for Braden Eves coming from that 3rd place position, having to take the exit route there and one funneled back there to mid-pack. But, oh, car off in 8.
Yeah, contact there, as you said, coming through turn 7 and 8. 2 drivers have gotten together. I wonder if that might be one of the TJ Speed cars. That may be Hunter Yaney. So a couple of drivers have got together. Indeed, yeah, the number 27 of Hunter Yaney having trouble from P. That was from P3. So a little bit of contact up front. We didn't really get a chance to see it unless we're able to get a replay. But nonetheless, as Ayrton had said, it was an excellent start, obviously, for Braden Eves with the issue he had, able to come back into 10th. Hopefully we'll get a chance to look at a replay here. I'm not sure that we will, but we'll see. Skeets, Johnson, 1, 2. Clark will go up into the 2nd spot right now. I mean, Matt Clark up into 2nd? No. So it was Clark that got together with Yaney. Clark's going to fall down the order as well. He's going all the way down to the tail. So Clark and Yaney, the 2 drivers involved in that one, and they have not yet come back around. Another big lock up there. That was a number 3 getting deep into the corner. Tuschelski locks it up. And I'll tell you, we saw a lot of that in USF 2000, Alan. Really aggressive moves to the inside. And when they realize they start running out of room, that's when they pinch on that binder a little bit more.
And one off in the gravel trap outside of turn number 4. Can't pick the number up yet, but there's coming back onto the track there. So in that big scatter 4 wide we saw, shuffling off turn 3, somebody didn't make the corner.
It might have been the 78 of Artie Flores who could potentially went off there as well, but man, we got a lot going on. Actually, I think it might have been Tuschelski who went off, the number 3 Tuschelski off the outside. There's the number 7 of Matt Clark. He is back on the racetrack. So indeed, a lot going on here right now. I'm seeing whether or not we go full course. No, it looks like we're still clean and green. Everybody able to get back onto the racetrack. Johnson takes the lead. We saw that. Liam Skeets up into 2nd. Hughes in 3rd. Frankie Mossman started 10th up into 4th. That's the kind of start, Ayrton, that you want. kind of don't be in the craziness, get a couple of spots, and then maybe inherit a couple as well. Fast Frankie Mossman up to P4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's how you got to do it around here. It's survival out at this track. You've seen no full course yellow yet, but a lot of bumping and banging out here. Good to see we're staying green and keeping racing, but if you can keep your car in one piece and out of anybody, 3 wide down into 1 here. Braden Eves on the outside.
That's it. Eves will lock it up again, coming through there. Right behind him, of course, Simon Sykes. So Braden Eves, the man on the move right now. He's trying to get a couple of spots, fighting back forward. He was quickest in the opening practice session, the test session yesterday morning. So Eves knows he's got a good hot rod there. He's just got to make sure he stays out of trouble again. Had that little issue on the outside. Was hoping to try to go around the outside of both those drivers. Maybe they checked up early. It did not play out that way. He had to take the escape route and then came back on track P10. Now has worked his way up a couple of spots, we believe. Still out front, though, is Nikita Johnson. 3 wins on the season already. He's not finished lower than 4th spot. That was the opening round at St. Petersburg. He comes in with a 39-point lead on Hunter Yaney, and Yaney involved in the incident already with Matt Clark, so this is huge, an opportunity for Johnson to even stretch the point lead even more.
So watching the cars on this track that have such long straightaways, how far back does that draft really kick in? Because we've seen some really deep closing rates into turn 1, and then how many times can you take a shot at that brake pedal like that before you begin to feel it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The draft here is absolutely massive, and it's exponential. As you get closer, it starts to get even bigger. So about 5-6 car lengths back, that's when you start getting a tow. Car going slow here through 8.
68 car.
That'll be Ethan Ho in the 68 if there's issues.
See if that brings out a full
So give us
yellow.
the thought about the draft, though. That's the
But
draft.
yeah, the draft, like I said, it's exponential. So about 5-6 car lengths back is when you really start to feel the pull, and then when you're within a car length or 2, that's when you start getting real big pull down into 1. And like you said, you only get a couple tries at that. Once you start locking those wheels, get a flat spot developed, then it's just going to keep locking lap after lap. So you really want to take the opportunity while you have it, get a real good hard brake stab while you've got your downforce, and then you see all those lockups. They're really close to the corner, really down at those apexes when the aero grip really starts to fade away. So get that hard brake stab and keep those tires from locking up.
And one other thing, Alan, is the fact that he's talking about his aero. Add more aerodynamics to this category as well. We have potential drivers off here again, more contact, again, another driver off into the grass. A little bit of action, but when we talk about the draft, even more draft with the more aero that we have on these cars. A lot more aero on these cars than we have on the USF 2000 car. So 5 lengths back for Ayrton, maybe even a little bit more for the other drivers. I believe that was Simon Sykes who had gone off the racetrack from P10, battling hard down into turn number 7.
So everybody continues. Ethan Ho gets the 68 machine back around to the pit lane, so we're able to stay under the green flag after he was off the pace and ran into some difficulties early in this race.
Indeed. A number of drivers have had some trouble. We know Matt Clark had that issue. He went out early after the contact with Hunter Yaney. Yaney able to continue. He's worked his way back up to 15th position. Braden Eves had the issue early. He comes back up now to P9. But we're watching some really good racing coming down into turn number 1. There's a great side-by-side battle there. A little bit further back, Christian Brooks in a fight. And here's trouble for the number 6 machine here right now. We have an issue on the racetrack for Frankie Mossman. Mossman is going to come to a stop. That's going to be a full course yellow, and I believe that is coming out of 6 down, potentially over to turn 7. The J. Howard driver development, the lone entry here for US Pro 2000 is going to be out of this. No, that's actually coming out of turn number 3, over to 2, not quite to 3, and that is going to be Mossman off the racetrack. Tough one there for Frankie Mossman, running P4. Digging so hard to try to get himself back up here, and tough to see that happen for Frankie. But again, that will bring out, I believe, a full course yellow here. 5 laps into this one. So indeed, we have lots of laps to go, lots of time to go as well. So indeed.
Yeah, no yellow yet, but leaders just beginning to come to the yard of bricks now, and there goes the yellow.
There it is.
Yeah. So first caution of the race comes out as the leaders complete the 6th lap of 25, and full course yellow for a car stopped just off driver's left of turn number 3.
So Frankie Mossman driving for J. Howard Driver Development. We talked about the fact that VRD Racing in USF 2000 have won 3 straight opening races of the weekend here in Indianapolis. Well, that will end a streak of 3 race 1 victories for Jay Howard Driver Development. They won a number of races before. Salvador de Alba, Christian Rasmussen won as well, as did Ricardo Scotto. So they've been very strong. Didn't get it done here with Mossman, even though he had fought his way all the way up to 4th spot. That is going to shake things up a bit because everybody behind moves up. Nikita Johnson still the leader. Liam Skeets in 2nd. Lockie Hughes 3rd. Nicholas Baptiste up to 4th. Logan Adams now up to P5. What a tremendous drive for Logan. Qualified 9th, now running 5th. Ricardo Scotto in 6th spot. Chase Denmark 7th. Braden Eves up to 8th. George Garcia Arce in 9th. And Adam Fitzgerald's now rounding out the top 10. Baptiste pushing his way up there very nicely. Logan Adams, and I mentioned the restarts now. Nikita Johnson is going to be obviously attacked quickly by Skeets and Hughes. Lockie Hughes looking to rebound after a tough NOLA. And Aaron, let's talk about when you have a tough race, right? You have a rough one. You've been digging. Maybe you had a really good one. Maybe you had a bad one. How do you hold yourself back a bit, knowing that you're trying to get that recovery race? You don't want to make the mistake, but you know you need more spots.
Yeah, no, you really got to just leave the past behind you. You know, you can't get dwelt on those bad results maybe from the weekend before, maybe a tough qualifying session. And as you've seen, you know, it can really go anyone's way out here with all the yellows, a lot of contact. So you got to put it behind you, just kind of put your head down and focus on the task at hand and making the best of your situation while you're out there on the track.
Yeah, we've seen a number of drivers up front here have some trouble. Matt Clark came into the event sitting 4th place in points. Let's have a look at the point standings here right now. I know we're coming back to green here, but in the point standings, Nikita Johnson, P1, as I said, with 141 points. Hunter Yaney in 2nd. Christian Brooks, Matt Clark, and Jace Denmark, top 5 drivers in the points championship. And already a couple of those drivers with some issues. Matt Clark being 1, Hunter Yaney being the 2nd, although Hunter has been able to get himself back up now into the 12th spot. Green flag flying once again. We are back at it here. And here comes that big run down to the bottom of the racetrack. Like I said, Liam Skeets, there's the draft. He'll come alongside, but you get punched in the face with the air when you get around. Skeets is going to push hard into the braking zone, but wisely not quite there enough. I'm surprised he wasn't able to get a little deeper in on him, but a good run there for Nikita Johnson. He holds the spot, but you can see, Alan, there was a swarm of drivers behind him, too wide, ready to pounce.
But again, remember, you're only 8 laps in on 25 of race 1 of 3. How much does it have to play in your mind when you're out there racing that, hey, I got to be ready to race this car twice more?
And you don't want your team here all night long, right? Rebuilding the car. And I've always said that every driver comes in with a different story, right? Some drivers have had really rough luck, like a Braden Eves. He was not quick at NOLA Motorsports Park, but he's always been good here. There's contact further back. Contact further back. A driver's gone around in turn number 7.
Was that Eves?
I was thinking that might have been Braden Eves. Contact from behind. Indeed, it was. Braden Eves in the number 92 from 8th position gets hit in the left rear, and around he goes. I don't know whether or not it's damaged to the point where he's stuck in the middle of the racetrack here, or they're in the middle of the grass on the outside of 7. But as he went down into 7, whichever driver was right behind him got into the back of him, contact, and sent him around. At this point, not moving, so we may have a driver who has got damaged machinery out in turn number 70. Restart action, and listen, we've heard this many times before. Cautions breed cautions, and we stack them all back up again. Still no yellow. Not surprising. If Braden rolls, they'll do it, but don't let them race as long as they can here before they go back to full course yellow.
They'll let them go till about off turn number 5 and say, okay, now we're going to slow you down before you get down to the end of that straightaway and turn 6. So the race leader, Johnson, is well out in front.
We'll let Aaron have a look at this replay here. We're going to have, we do have a full course yellow. Here they come. Here's a move down the inside. Eve starts to turn in, and that is that right front to left rear contact we've seen in that corner. Looked to me like it might have been one of the BN racing cars that may have got into the side of Braden Eves there, so not quite sure who that was at this point here, but there was contact coming down into turn number 7. Eves, we believe, still there on the grass on the outside. What did you see then, that contact there? Yeah, Rob, it looked like that car that was on the far inside just got a big lock up there going into 7, you know, 3 wide, especially down into 7s. It's a bit of a move there, but it looked like he just came in a bit too hot, got locked up, and unfortunately it looked like Braden got on the receiving end of that lockup a little bit. And it's not the racing line either. When you're on the inside like that, it's dirty, it doesn't have the rubber down, you don't have the grip as we know, and it did rain pretty aggressively, so tough one for Braden Eves, the sole driver for Exclusive Autosport here in this USF Pro 2000 category. So I don't know that showing that he is still there. Yeah, they've got the AMR IndyCar safety crew over there. They're going to have a look at the damage. I would expect if he's not restarted and rolled again, very likely they're going to have to get that thing up on the hook. So we'll continue to crank out some yellow flag laps here.
Yeah, from where he came to rest after the initial spin, it looks like he got it fired up, but then didn't maybe have the forward drive to go and just pulled it off into the grass to try and get off the pavement.
You wonder half shaft or something,
yeah.
Of course, with that hard contact to the left. We're in a tough one for Braden Eves, who was very quick, as I said yesterday in testing. He expected to come in here and race for a race win or a potential, at the very least, a podium for sure. And the issue he had in the opening corner, comes back to 10th out of the escape route, able to work his way up a couple of spots, some more contact in front of him. And another driver is right in front of us down pit lane here as well, the number 19 of Christian Brooks. So I'm talking about the issues we've had for guys within the top 5 right now. Hunter Yaney had the issue, the contact with Matt Clark. So Matt Clark goes out. He's P4 in points. Yaney's second in points. He ends up going back. He's now back up to 9th with some of the chaos. Christian Brooks is third in points. He just came into pit lane. He's currently 17th. Here's Nikita Johnson up front, just staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
And getting everything he wants. A possibility of even pulling even further out in points. Already a 39-point advantage.
But he had to fight hard on the initial start. He had to fight hard to hold the lead on that last restart, and he's got another restart coming up in a minute. So far from comfortable for sure. And race control just announced a penalty for that avoidable contact. Jace Denmark was the other driver involved.
Okay.
He will go to the tail of the field for the restart.
So Jace Denmark, P5 in points. So everybody other than Nikita Johnson within the top 5 in points have had issues. They've gone to the tail of the field. We've got DNFs for a couple of them. And again, this is all good for Nikita Johnson out front. Fans enjoying themselves here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of my keys to the race, Ayrton, was patience. And how does a driver handle that? Jace Denmark going to the inside. Hey, listen, I got an opportunity to overtake. You know a restart's a good opportunity to get a pass done. What do you got to do to calm yourself down to not make that kind of a mistake?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's even longer race for these guys than we had.
Yeah.
25 laps. They've got a long race ahead of them. And it's a wide track, a good couple of passing opportunities, down into 1, into 7, into 12 if you really force the issue. So you've got a good amount of time to pass some people. It's just about when you can make that smart move and when you can definitely get that high percentage pass going to really keep it clean and get you up towards the top of that field.
I love that, right? The high percentage, low risk. And when you do it, you have to be decisive. That move to the inside for Jace Denmark, not overly decisive because he got down there. But when it's right front to left rear contact, you know you're at fault.
It's also high percentage, low risk, but that's also the hardest lesson to learn.
Indeed. Right?
You want to get out there, your mindset is go, I gotta go. And sometimes going doesn't work out.
Yeah, especially when you come through 5 and 6, maybe Braden or somebody else had an issue coming through 5 and 6, chicane checked up a little bit. You're like, I got to run on this guy. How many times have you said that?
Yeah,
you come through a corner, you really get it set nice. Oh, I got to run. I got to take advantage of this. I may never get another shot. You go for it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So again, let's reset it for you, folks. Here's your top 10. We will go green this next time by. Nikita Johnson is your leader. And the number 17 for VRD Racing, looking to extend his point lead. Just 15 years of age. Lockie Hughes, the Australian, now living here in Carmel, Indiana, the number 44 for Turn 3 Motorsports, running in second. A good recovery for Lockie, who's 6th place in points coming in after a disastrous NOLA, having won one of the races at St. Petersburg. He would love a bounce back here for second. He won one of the races here last year in USF 2000. Liam Skeet still holds on to third spot. Nicholas Baptiste and Ricardo Scotto have 2 BN racing cars in the top 5. Logan Adams in that single car family run Comet Racing effort there in the number 21 in 6th. George Garcia Arce in 7th. Hunter Yaney back up to 8th. Adam Fitzgerald 9th. And Simon Sykes, he had an off earlier as well. He's got his way back up into 10th. So much shaking up in the top 5 in points. The leader stretching away. Those guys 6 to 10, Alan, this is an opportunity for them to maybe claw some points back and get back in the scrap.
Going to be another really interesting restart charge down to turn 1 and down to turn 7 as well as we get ready to come back to the green flag.
We'll get close to the halfway point here as well. We said 25 laps. We'll put lap number 11 in the books when they come back around here. So Nikita Johnson, I talked about as one of my keys to the race. It is tough to hold a lead off here, but Johnson, really, it's all about the leader getting the right punch off. Maybe surprising the guy behind him a little bit, but it's such a big run down into turn number 1. We'll watch that draft happen again. Johnson will come out. He'll get on the throttle, climb on into it, and then get right down on the wall to see if he can't hold off Lockie Hughes. Now, Liam Skeets, his first race restart here, was that one. Not so for Lockie Hughes. He ran a number of races, of course, here last year in USF 2000. He's a race winner from this racetrack as well. So Hughes may be a little more aggressive. As they come out of turn number 14, everybody's rolling. Not the best start there, but maybe enough of a draft. Here they come back down to the bottom. Skeets is going to pull alongside. He's going to try to see if he can't get second away, but look at this run here. There's the draft coming up for Lockie. The number 44 will pull to the outside. Who's got what it takes deep on the brakes? Maybe an over-under from Skeets here. Side by side. Not quite enough, and Johnson once again holds him off. Drivers fighting further back there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Baptiste, Escoto, and Adams right in there as well. So aggressive racing on the restart, not surprisingly, always a great opportunity to overtake. How good are they through the chicane? A couple of drivers having a bit of an issue getting turned in quickly. Otherwise, the full field coming through. Looks like we've got, I want to say 17 drivers of the 21 still on the racetrack. Eves, Mossman, Ho, and Clark, the retirees. Otherwise, rolling through turn number 7. There's a couple of turn 3 cars side by side. Hold your breath if you're on the pit wall with that team. Otherwise, through the first half of the lap, Allen, clean and green.
And a little jumble up there between turns 9 and 10, and some smoke flying a little bit, but everybody got away okay. Really, really hard to judge when to make that lunge and when not, it looks like.
And indeed, you think people talk about maybe the tires starting to go off. These Continental tires really hold through to the end. I would not be surprised if we'll get some fast laps near the end as well. And one thing to point out as well, Simon Sykes did not get a lap in whatsoever. One thing we'll throw out here for Simon Sykes is that every lap he gets here, the faster he can go, he's going to potentially use that to better his starting position for race number 2 and race number 3. So he is digging in as hard as he can here right now to improve his start. Remember, started at the very tail of the field back in 21st. So Sykes now has worked his way up into 8th. So a great recovery drive thus far for last year's USF 2000 champion. That's him at the right of the screen there in the scholarship colors machine for Pabst Racing, coming off a really good run as well. A 3rd and a 4th at NOLA Motorsports Park. So momentum building there for the young driver from Augusta, Georgia.
Experience, momentum, and you know, it takes some time to figure it out sometimes, right?
Indeed. And again, a driver like so many really racing for the scholarship. Last year would have been kind of his last year in Formula Cars had he not been able to win that scholarship and continue with Pabst Racing. He knows he needs to continue doing that. Oh, there's side-by-side racing for turn 3, and I believe D-Force drivers, very likely Adam Fitzgerald and George Garcia or maybe Tyke Durst.
Somebody had a handful trying to jump on the gas coming off turn number 9. Nice save when the back end stepped out.
How easy is that coming through that corner? You had a bit of trouble battling it with Elliot Cox. When you're rolling through that, you know, the rhythm section of 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you get it, can you step on the throttle a little bit too early if you got a lot of wheel in it? Because it's something where you kind of lose the rear end.
Yeah, that's definitely a very challenging part of the track through that 8, 9, 10 complex. You know, where if you watch these drivers, they're all the way down on those apex curbs. They get pretty bumpy down as you get closer to the grass. So as you're coming over those apex curbs, if you have a bit too much wheel in the car gets a bit hoppy over the curbs. The rear end likes to come around. But a big thing that these drivers are going to be doing is not letting fully off of the gas and not getting fully onto the gas. Just keeping a little bit of that weight on the rear wheels without shifting all the weight to the nose. Really likes to keep the car planted through there, and smooth inputs all through 7, 8, 9, 10 to keep that car planted.
Yeah, it's all about the balance, isn't it? You got to keep that car balanced. And again, a couple of drivers right now we keep an eye on here, 2nd and 3rd, because very crucial for them. Lockie Hughes currently 6th in points. Liam Skeets in 9th, and 2nd and 3rd would be some really quality points that they need after, and not the best weekends at NOLA Motorsports Park, not for sure. For Lockie Hughes with finishes of 19th, 18th, and 10th. Not what he was thinking about having finished 1st and 2nd at St. Petersburg.
There's a challenge and maybe a change for 2nd spot coming under the braking zone to turn 7 and around to turn 10.
Yeah, Liam Skeets all up and on it, and that's really allowed Ricardo Escoto, has got by his teammate Nico Baptiste. Escoto closing up in the BN Racing number 77 as well, a winner last year here for Jay Howard Driver Development. Escoto has got his head down. You can see him right there behind Lockie Hughes. That is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 5th is Baptiste, not that far back either. So really strong racing here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The last couple spots on the podium. And again, the benefactor, Clean Air, and drivers racing behind you, Nikita Johnson. They're on the radio with him saying it is all working for you right now.
Johnson coming off a terrific weekend. Championship leader has won 3 of 5 races this season coming in. The last 2 weekends of last season, right? He was the show and has continued the show to start this season.
Look at this fight right now for 2nd. They continue to go at it. Hughes tried to go around the outside. Big run for him. Hughes digging in big time there, and that's allowed Escoto to close right back up. And again, Escoto right there. In fact, Hughes had to kind of defend a little bit to the inside, cover off the bottom of turn number 3 so Escoto wouldn't get by, and that's given Skeets a little bit of breathing room. Ricardo Escoto for BN Racing putting his head down to dig his way forward here. And more stats coming in from our crew here in the PA booth. None of the current teams in the top 5 have ever won a USF Pro 2000 race here at IMS, so that's key. We've never seen a VRD driver up front, a TJ Speed car, turn 3, so all these drivers trying to grab that first win for the team here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Pro 2000 category, and they are digging. This may be good for Liam Skeets. The fact that Ricardo Escoto's got the elbows up and getting aggressive, that's going to allow Skeets, who has a pretty solid little advantage, and in fact, Escoto is through. Move Ricardo Escoto back into 3rd.
They had a terrific fight down Holman Boulevard, getting to the braking zone of turn number 7, and I think it was an outside move because the block was put on, went around the outside of turn 7, which gave him the inside of turn 8.
And you can do that because if you've got that inside line, you're of course less on. You got to get more wheel into it. You got to get on the brakes to get the corner turn. So Escoto looking good, but don't count out Lucky Hughes as of yet. That said, Ricardo Escoto, I had a chat with him earlier. He had a chance to test with Juncos Racing in an Indy Next car at Mid-Ohio on Monday. So get a chance to drive a little quicker machinery. Back on board the Tatus here for USF Pro 2000. He's picked right up. And to be honest, the return of BN Racing, they first started a number of years ago with David Malukas and Toby Sowery coming into USF 2000 and to Pro. Bryn Nuttall went and worked for a couple other teams, came back with his own operation, and they have really, Alan, come out of the gate strongly here in 2024.
And so hard to pick. You know, you don't just pick up where you left off. Things have changed.
Very
right?
true, yeah.
And to come out and be competitive and be strong like that, hats off to them.
Yeah, but when BN Racing was here, we did not have the halo, so a lot different dynamics on the car. The center of gravity a lot higher with the halo added to the new chassis. So indeed, tough for sure.
Tires change, track pavement changes, everything changes, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, a lot more in the mix in terms of the winning equation. Up front for Nikita Johnson, 3 seconds the advantage right now. VRD Racing looking to sweep the day. They already won with Max Taylor in USF 2000. Can they win with Nikita Johnson as well here in USF Pro? And this would be his 4th win of the year, 3rd straight victory, 15 years of age. This kid is a wheelman. There's no doubt about that, pulling away. And I'll tell you, for Liam Skeets, he's going to be happy here running in that 2nd spot. Lucky Hughes, though, not done. Here comes the big run for 3rd. Hughes goes down to the inside. There's the move to the bottom for Escoto. He's got to hold the bottom there. And look at this move around the outside. Who's got the deeper on the brakes? They'll go side by side. Hughes on the outside. Escoto inside, outside. Oh, a little bit of a hip check. Escoto tried to pin him down. That didn't work. And here comes his own teammate, Nico Baptiste. So he's got to think about Baptiste, who's on the apex. Now, I don't know about that. That to me looked like Escoto was kind of pinching a little bit down into turn number 2. That was good hardcore side-by-side racing. Ayrton, would you agree?
Yeah, I think it was just 2 drivers really trying to get through that really close together, and both came out fine, so I think that's just good, clean racing right there.
Elbows up, scrape off the Continentals on the side of the tires a little bit. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Can I stay around outside of you through this left-hander, because then I've got the inside on the right-hander?
That's it. That's the reward. If he's able to hold the spot and keep him down, even if he got Lockie just to check up a little bit, a little more, he could get around the corner and beat him over to turn number 3. Not quite enough, and Lucky Hughes put himself back into that position. But there's Liam Skeets coming through. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's Lucky Hughes being chased by the 2 BN drivers, Ricardo Escoto and Nicholas Baptiste. The recovery for Hunter Yaney continues as he has now got himself back up into 6th after the contact that sent him off the racetrack with Matt Clark. So indeed, great run for him. Being told that Tyke Durst in the number 33 is headed to pit lane, an issue potentially for Durst going off track as well and into the pit lane.
Yeah, that's him all the way down the far end of that shot. He stopped in the very first stall at pit entrance, but at least he made it back in safely, fully onto the pit lane, and were able to stay green.
Yeah, good stuff for Tyke Durst, one of the rookie drivers in the series here right now. Your top 10 sees Johnson, Skeets, Hughes, Escoto, and Baptiste top 5. Yaney 6th, Sykes up to 7th from 21st, plus 14 for Simon Sykes. Logan Adams runs in 8th, Adam Fitzgerald in 9th, and Danny Jashelski. He started deep in the field as well. Jashelski back in 18th. He's now up into 10th. So some good runs for drivers deeper in the field. Stay out of the chaos. We're able to make a couple overtakes, took advantage of those restarts. We've had a couple of them already, and they have moved themselves back up. It's really big, I think, for Simon Sykes after not even getting 1 lap out in qualifying to be able to get a solid top 10 result.
And still racing hard back in the field as nobody's going to give up. I mean, it's a chance to race at Indianapolis, right?
And that's Fitzgerald, Jashelski, Brooks, and Denmark. Those drivers are sitting there right now in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, like they're going for the podium.
It's great stuff. and just the first of 3 races this season, this weekend rather, for this series. So opportunity to advance today to help you tomorrow.
Yeah, and especially for Simon Sykes, who doesn't have a time. He'll take his fastest lap right now and throw that in the mix to potentially not start all the way at the tail of the field once again. Nonetheless, he has done a great job of it. He's currently in the 7th position, getting by Logan Adams, but there he is rolling across the line right there. Adams digging in behind him, trying to keep pushing. And here's that next group. They're fighting out like crazy. Fitzgerald, Dashelski, Brooks. Here's the 2 turn 3 cars side by side. Dashelski's trying the outside of Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald will go deeper on the brakes. Dashelski wise not to go for it. Right behind him, you see the yellow wing of the Pabst car of Christian Brooks right there as well. As is Jace Denmark, the 2 Pabst racing cars currently running in 11th and 12th. And again, we just look at the different teams we have as well in the top 5. BN Racing currently sitting 4th and 5th. Turn 3 and 3rd. TJ Speed 2nd. VRD looking for their 2nd race win of the day, having already scored the win with Max Taylor in USF 2000. It'll be a good day for that team if they're able to come away with a couple of wins, dial things in on those cars here this evening, get back at it for one more USF 2000 race tomorrow. We'll start things off bright and early at 7:45, I believe, with USF Pro 2000. Yep. And then right before Indy next, we'll have the drivers in USF Pro wrapping up their triple header.
So 3 shots at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway course. And of course, this is all part of Sancio Grand Prix weekend. We're coming up next, NTT IndyCar Series qualifying for everybody here at the Speedway, followed by Indy Next race number 1. So a busy Friday, and again, a busy weekend for all of these drivers in the USF Pro Championships that are here. You
know, and they'll be here sitting there watching because that's where they want to be, yeah, right? Sure. They want to be in next year, especially when we talk about this particular program. I talk a lot about the fact that you look at the last 6 champions of this program, 2 of them are Indy Next, right? We know that Louis Foster doing an incredible job, champion a couple of years ago. Miles Rowe as well. They've got their eyes set on IndyCar. Then you look at the guys from before them. Renus VK in 18, Kyle Kirkwood in 19, Stingray Robb in 20, and Christian Rasmussen in 21. All in the IndyCar program. If you win this championship, odds on you're going to IndyCar.
And you're racing here before all the owners of the NTT IndyCar Series. They're all paying attention, and when you win, they hear your name.
That's it, right? They know. Yep. Here's a scrap there again. Christian Brooks. Looks like he may have got by both of those drivers here for turn 3. I think he was able to get by both Adam Fitzgerald and Danny Dashelski, so that is a good scrap. There they are right there. And back on the inside comes Dashelski. And it looks to me like George Garcia coming up to make it a 5-driver fight as well. So that is for essentially 9th on back. And these guys are having a whale of a battle here coming through turns number, of course, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
That is the best racing on the Speedway, and it's not even for the very first spot. But these guys are just going at it so hard as the laps begin to run out in the race.
Indeed, we have will be 5 when they come back around. Ayrton Hauk, that looks a lot like the battle you were in. Same thing, like 8th back to probably 12th. You guys had your elbows up. You were inside, outside, 2 wide into 7. It looked like a ton of fun. I'm sure a little bit of stress as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, even all the way back through this field, groups of 2, 3, 4 cars are going to be battling for any last spot they can get. Especially because even with 5 left to go, you don't know if a yellow might come out. You don't know if the pack gets pulled up. So every last spot you can get, if a yellow comes out, that's just another opportunity to make another one up.
Oh, beautiful pass there for Christian Brooks, side by side with Adam Fitzgerald, all the way down into turn number 1. They both went deep. He checked up a little bit, a little too deep. Fitzgerald, a textbook over-under coming through turn number 1, and Christian Brooks is going to roll away with P9. That was a really nice pressure job on the outside.
That was, I've got you, no you don't. You overshot the mark.
Yeah, and so indeed that moves Christian Brooks up into 9th position. Again, remember, he comes in here 3rd place in points. He had the issue and all the way back down, I think to 17th or 18th, but he has fought his way back up, leveraged the restart, and he's got himself back up into to 9th. So a solid recovery here for Christian Brooks. But again, everybody, you don't want to use the term recovery when the guy you're chasing in the championship who came in 39 points up, more than the points you can get in one full race. 30 points for a win, 3 bonus points on offer for pole, most laps led, and fastest lap. That when he's out front winning, that's not where you want to be. Recovery is not a term you want to be describing your day.
No, definitely not. And you know, you think about, okay, it's a long season, right? There's 18 races over the weekends, but they go by so fast. You got a weekend like this, there's 3 races all in one weekend. That is a ton of championship points on the line in 24 hours time.
And I always say you never know what happens. So the leader in the points could have the issues. It's just not happening right now for Nikita Johnson. He was able to get out front, a really good move to take over the lead. As we know, Liam Skeets took it at one point. He was able to grab it back. It's just been such a good start of the season here for Nikita Johnson. Very similar to what we saw with Miles Rowe last year. He came out and really over the first third of the season, put all those points up where he could almost, I don't want to say cruise, but he was able to pick and choose. He didn't need to be his normal aggressive Miles Rowe. He was able to kind of race more maturely, and he just be able to maintain that lead to the end.
It sure takes a lot of pressure off when you build an early lead in the championship, right? I mean,
Ayrton's smiling over here.
Yeah.
He knows that. Yeah. Give me 4 or 5 wins to start the season. I'm going to feel real good, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Again, Ayrton Houck joining us here for DC Autosport. We've got some time here, but 4 laps to go. Not much going on. Ayrton, I know you're digging hard to try to make this thing happen, right? I think you've got the budget to get through the Freedom 75 at IRP in a couple of weeks. Tell me about the people that are making it happen for you right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have an amazing showing out of today of all our partners and supporters. Binkley's, we're heading there after this. It's a great restaurant downtown Indianapolis. Wings and Wheels Foundation, Little Red Door Cancer Agency, Horizon Equine Integrative Medicine, and just so many family, friends that are helping us out along the way, really making this dream come true to be racing here in Indianapolis, something I never thought would even be possible when I was just a young kid out watching the Indy cars.
Right, it isn't the reality that you get behind the wheel and that's your happy place. You're able to, get behind and go racing, but you learn so much about the business side of this as well. People think, oh yeah, it's so much fun. You get a chance to go racing cars, when you realize the amount of work you do, probably 4-fold on the outside, not talking about the car, but trying to find the money, the sponsors, and taking care of the partners that are on board with you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a full-time job. It's been difficult juggling this with school as well. It's a lot more than just being out on the track and driving the cars, and it's been amazing. I'm loving every second of it, the driving, the business, all parts of it, meeting so many amazing people and getting the opportunity just like this to come up and call a race with you guys. It's been all an amazing ride, and especially here in Indianapolis.
Tell me about school. Where do you go?
I'm a finance student at Purdue University, sophomore year.
Not a boy. Were you in the Grand Prix?
I was. Unfortunately, the engine
got a car
went
off
out.
track in turn 9. We'll see if that puts out a full course caution with just less than 3 laps to go. But Purdue.
Yes.
Very
Finance
nice.
student at Purdue, and something that we do there, it's a little different, is the Purdue Grand Prix.
Yeah.
A lot of fraternities and independent teams show up at last weekend of classes and go out and race some go-karts around the track.
I love it. That's
Absolutely
fantastic.
fun. Brings the fun back into racing.
Let's try to see if we can't update who is potentially off. We're thinking it's the 21
believe it's
machine of
Logan
Logan Adams. No! Oh, Logan was having such a good run with 8th position. And Logan is off the racetrack on the outside of turn number 9. Over to turn number 10. Tough one for Logan Adams, who was running the top 10.
So they're going to leave the local. They're going to put local yellows out to slow that section of the race course and leave the broader course under green to finish the race.
He's well off the racetrack right now, no doubt about that. And indeed, white flag will fly this next time by for Nikita Johnson. 4.6 seconds the advantage for now. So again, the yellow off, and of course they're going to call in to all the drivers that they need to make sure they need to be off the racetrack here. So again, tough one there for Logan Adams, who had such a great run going. I guarantee he'll be back for 2 more races. This kid's got speed. We look forward to him to try to get back to the top 10. He joined us in the booth for the USF 2000 race. But again, folks, this one's wrapping up for Nikita Johnson. This would be his 3rd straight win on the season for Nikita. Here he comes out onto the front straightaway. Aaron Likens will give him the white flag here at start-finish. And it's a massive lead for the young driver from Gulfport, Florida, Liam Skeets, the Kiwi. Another driver trying to put the program together to keep racing here. And what a great drive it's been for Liam, as well for Lockie Hughes, Ricardo Escoto, and Nico Baptiste. Baptiste goes down a spot. I believe Hunter Yaney, I think, have fought himself back up to P5. So final lap of action on the day here for the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. We're capping off the VP Racing Grand Prix of Indianapolis. And again, 1 more lap. We're back for 3 races tomorrow, as I had said. 1 first thing in the morning for Pro 2000. We'll follow it right up with USF 2000. And just before the noon hour, we'll roll back out with the final race of a triple header. This is a big run, though, for Nikita Johnson. And listen, I don't think you can speak volumes enough about the fact that when you're 15 years of age, or any of these drivers, confidence, momentum, Alan, it's so crucial. When you're winning races, you believe in yourself and your team believes in you, it just keeps paying off.
And you see the big gap in the lead as he comes to the final couple of corners. Started on pole, yes, had to survive a challenge, turn 1, lap 1.
Indeed.
Had to survive a couple of restart challenges, got away, kept it clean, and has done the work to get the gap.
And indeed, the gap not only is big here on the racetrack, it's going to be big in the points as well. 39 markers coming in. It'll be well over 40 because the closest driver to him, Hunter Yaney, is going to be back in P5. Out of the final corner, folks, we call it back-to-back-to-back jacks. 3 in a row. Nikita Johnson for VRD Racing completes the victory sweep as he wins race number 1 of 3 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Johnson wins the VP Racing Grand Prix of Indianapolis, following up on the victory by his teammate Max Taylor in USF 2000. A big day for VRD, and there is Aaron Likens with the twin checkers here at start finish. Johnson with the win. Skeets comes home in second. Huge run for the TJ Speed driver. And then we go to Lucky Hughes in third, Ricardo Escoto in fourth, and making 2 TJ Speed cars in the top 5 as Hunter Yaney comes from the tail of the field back up to 5th. Nicholas Baptiste in 6th spot. 7th is Simon Sykes, and there is the VRD Racing team in the white hat there. That's the winner hat there for Max Taylor. He's down there as well. A big day for Dan Mitchell and his crew. Jacob Loomis down for VRD Racing. Johnson, Skeets, Hughes will work their way up here onto the podium after a cool down lap. Trouble, as we said, those not getting to the finish. Logan Adams, Tyke Durst, Braden Eves, Frankie Mossman, Ethan Ho, and Matt Clark. A couple drivers battling to the line still to cap things off. Charles Finelli and Arturo Flores scrapping it out for 14th and 15th. But all in all, a pretty solid race. We had some action, we had some contact. It's Indianapolis. Everybody wants to win here. We know about restarts, cautions, breed cautions. Alan, what you would expect out of a race like that? 25 laps, hardcore, 2 steps away from IndyCar, and there was a little bit of argy-bargy here and there.
I got to tell you, Rob, when they went 4 wide, about 4 rows deep into turn 1, lap 1, I expected a lot worse than we got. And
true enough.
Being the first of 3 on the weekend, really nice job by all these drivers. Nice, clean race, hard fought. And everybody's in good shape to go back and race again tomorrow a couple times.
Indeed, some of the damage we had, nobody with real tons of damage, maybe some mechanical issues. Otherwise, we're looking good. Drivers will get themselves back here. We'll make sure we have that camera on Nikita Johnson. When he rolls, we'll go right to victory lane when we kind of wrap things up. Let's finish things up here with Ayrton Hauk, who's back at it again tomorrow morning. USF 2000, you were running top 10, ended up 11th. You know you got a car that could potentially go top 5. Is that your mindset?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Seeing the strength we had in the race today, I have no doubt that if I put my head down and stay clean, that we've got a top 5 pace. We just got to go make it happen tomorrow.
Ayrton, thank you so much, man. Ayrton Hauk, folks, one of the local heroes here, the stars here in USF 2000 for DC Autosport. Watch him tomorrow when you get here trackside. Otherwise, that is the driver who will be celebrating tonight for sure. The VRD crew is going to be happy about it, although we are bright and early back here at 7:45, so it's not going to be a late night for anybody. No. I guarantee you that. That 4:30, 5 o'clock alarm at the hotel comes pretty early. But this kid's feeling good. And again, just you see the crazy emotion out of guys with their first win. When you've won 4 on the season, 3 in a row, I think the determination kind of locks down. It's not like you have that crazy feeling anymore, but it's just, man, this is all working in the right direction. And this kid is pretty impressive. We know it. 4 wins to start the season out of 6 races, Alan. That's the way to start a season.
It's very impressive indeed. And obviously a talent getting a lot of attention on levels above. And we'll hear from him as he begins to get the safety equipment off.
Indeed, Johnson's there. Let's bring DJ Clark in to get a chance to talk with the driver who just got it done here. All right. Oh, that's true. They got to get the guys weighed first. Yes. We don't want DJ sneaking him with some water or a below the ballast. Big run here for Liam Skeets. He is going to be thrilled with that, and I'm sure that the good folks back in New Zealand cheering for their Kiwi. Great run for Liam Skeets for TJ Speed, a 2nd place finish. That is really going to move him up in the points for sure. He was tied with Simon Sykes, only a couple spots behind Frankie Mossman. He could potentially work his way up. DJ now standing by with the winner today, Nikita Johnson.
I am indeed down here with the winner, Nikita. Multiple wins this year, but does it feel a little bit sweeter at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Yes, it feels a lot better, especially because it's Indianapolis. But last year we got very close in the 3 races here, but this year, happy we could get it done.
Happy you could get it done, and you kind of had a couple of scary moments. Talk me through your mentality on those restarts.
Yeah, the restarts were pretty hard because I could never get away. They were always tucked up behind me, but I was just trying to white line it and then make them go on the outside and try to outbrake them, which worked every time.
Worked every time, walks away with the victory. Nikita Johnson, your winner.
Yeah, pretty impressive there. Remember, just 15 years of age. Isn't that the thing, Alan? 15 years old. This kid's winning races. He did it last year. He debuted, like you talked about, at COTA last year, Circuit of the Americas, and won there. Out of the gate strong, and already out of the gate here in 2024 as well.
So now 4 for 6 this season is Johnson. And still another couple of opportunities yet this weekend. But just anytime in any racing series you post that kind of success rate, that is eye-opening.
Yeah, indeed. And again, like I said, you talk about confidence and momentum, especially in any kind of motorsports, any kind of sport, really. But when you roll into to youngsters like this at this level of competition, driving at this speed, this kind of high-pressure situation, there's Tim Neff from TJ Speed right there. But when you get that confidence, when you get that momentum, that's when you kind of dial things in. This is the kind of thing that really allows these drivers to put their head down and make it happen. Nikita Johnson, only the 3rd winner in the USF Pro 2000 category here in Indianapolis from the United States. Reese Gold and Stingray Robb, a couple drivers, Americans winning here as well. But again, I love this little note we're getting. Johnson was born the day after Scott Dixon won the 2008 Indy 500. The same day. Born the same day Dixon won. I know, and here's the thing. He's only 15.
Yeah.
He's going to run the GB3 series as well. He couldn't run the first 2 races at Olton Park or Silverstone because he's only 15. He turns 16 on Sunday or whatever, on Sunday, and then flies to run at Spa the following weekend. This kid's getting a lot of seat time, and it's just such a fantastic story.
And earning a lot of seat time and a lot of attention. Indeed. For sure. So we'll have our podium ceremony coming up momentarily, and then up next on the Speedway, you see the cars of the NTT IndyCar Series being towed out from Gasoline Alley. Qualifications coming up to set the field for the Sancio Grand Prix in about 15 minutes' time.
Indeed, folks, we'll get our podium done as soon as we possibly can. Don't go anywhere if you're watching on the stream. We'll get these drivers up here onto the podium and give you victory lane celebrations when we get back.
Good recovery for Lockie Hughes, a winner here last year in USF 2000. Watch for him to step things up again. Lockie Hughes coming home in the 3rd position. Big run for the driver from New Zealand for TJ Speed. He led for a time, comes home P2. A round of applause for Liam Skeets. Great job for Liam coming home in 2nd position. Sean Rake has got that P2 trophy for us. Sean, hop up there with Liam. Give him that trophy. Great to have you with us here this weekend. I'll tell you, it's been a fantastic start to the season. We always talk about looking to the drivers here in USF Pro 2000 to see if they're going to make their way to Indy next and then into the IndyCar Series to follow so many of the great drivers who have come out of this program. Folks, another win. 3 straight, the victor today, Nikita Johnson. Back-to-back jacks, my friend. 3 in a row, 4th on the season. What a great race, but it was a battle for sure for you. Tell me about it a little.
Yeah, this was a pretty hard battle. We had a few restarts there, but I was just trying to focus, staying out in front and making it through turn 1 and first. But yeah, Liam gave me a run for my money on every restart, so great racing with them and Lockie. So we just kept it out in front and pulled away. I can't thank Verdi enough, everybody from there, my whole family for coming out. Well, my dad for coming out, my family back home for watching. But yeah, this VRD car was super fast.
How about tomorrow? You got 2 more tomorrow. Can you get the car any better?
Yes, I think we're going to go look at video and data, and there's for sure some improvements that we can make on the driver and car. I mean, there always is, but we'll go try to be faster and see what we can do tomorrow.
For the 4th time this year, hop up on top of the podium. Let's get that P1 trophy out here. Tim Batchelor's going to bring it out for us. Tim, hop up there. Get up there with Nikita Johnson. This could be a driver who works his way to IndyCar one day. Again, good folks from VP Racing Fuels partnering with us here this week. A lot of great guests here, but what a fantastic race. Liam Skeets led early. Nikita Johnson was able to get back by. A number of restarts really made things exciting. Liam did whatever he could to try to find a way by, but in the end, just couldn't get it done. The battle was then for Lockie and Liam for a bit. Nikita was out front and got the job done by himself in another win. 3 in a row, 4 on the season, stretching the point lead. Both Liam Skeets and Lockie Hughes making up big points as drivers in front of them had some issues. Opening the door wide open for sure. At least for 2nd on back, they're going to have to dig hard as they try to chase Nikita Johnson all the way through to Portland at the end of August. Again, folks, I talk about it. Out of this last 6 champions in this series, 4 are in IndyCar, 2 are in Indy Next on their way to IndyCar. This series builds IndyCar drivers. I'll bring in some guests from VP here for a shot, then we'll wrap things up. IndyCar engines getting ready to fire up down here on pit lane for their qualifying run. It's going to be a lot of fun. What a great day so far. A little bit of cloud cover rolling in, but again, we're thrilled to have the folks from VP Racing Fuels with us here this weekend. We've got champagne waiting in the wings to cap off today's action. 3 more races tomorrow. If you come in here bright and early, we're on track with USF Pro at 7:45. We'll follow it right up with USF 2000. And then right around the noon hour before the Indy Next main event, race number 2, and of course the Saint-Cyr Grand Prix, we'll cap off a triple header here for drivers at USF Pro 2000. Can Nikita Johnson keep it going? Can Liam Skeets get it done? Can some other drivers step up and get her to the top of the box? We'll see. Gentlemen, grab that champagne. Let's grip it and rip it. It's time to celebrate race number 1. Nikita Johnson winning today here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Put Indy on the resume for the young 15-year-old out of Florida. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning into the broadcast here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.